On May 26, 2000, as Lakewood Middle School students eagerly anticipate summer vacation, darkness descends. What happens in the school's halls that afternoon leaves a lasting mark on everyone there.
May 26, 2000, a school hallway, a lone person walking. Another person appears, and in an instant, one was dead, the other in custody for killing middle school teacher Barry Grunow. The killer, then 13-year-old Nathaniel Brazil, a student in Grunow's class. Today, Brazil is 24 and has served 11 years of a 28-year prison sentence for killing Grunow. He is currently at Hardy Correctional Institute, east of Sarasota.
I've had a pretty good life planned out for me prior to coming here.
Things changed, though, when Brazil misbehaved and Grunow tossed him out of class on that last day of school.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Crimeco, where we break down some of the most chilling true crime cases from every corner of the globe. If this sparks your interest, we would be thrilled if you could subscribe to our channel, and giving this video a like significantly supports the channel's growth. We appreciate your help. Now grab a blanket to hide under and let's dive into today's interesting case. Our story takes place in the quiet Florida suburb of Lake Worth. Located just south of West Palm Beach, this peaceful community is known for its classic southern charm, with sprawling palm trees, quiet cafes, and cheerful homes. Lake Worth has a diverse population of about 40,000 residents. The town's main industries revolve around retail businesses and services. It also has a thriving art scene. Overall, Lake Worth is seen as a friendly, laid-back place to raise a family, which made the shocking behavior at the middle school even more jarring. Lake Worth Middle School itself is located right in the heart of a cheerful residential neighborhood, surrounded by single-family homes. The school contains grades 6 through 8, so students range from ages 11 to 14. In many ways, Lake Worth Middle School looks like any typical suburban middle school, with its single-story buildings, outdoor basketball courts, and grassy fields. No one could have foreseen it becoming the site of this devastating event. Within the hallways and classrooms where carefree young students once laughed and studied now echoes the ghost of buried innocence, after a place of warmth was transformed into a crime scene on that fateful spring day. Lake Worth and its schools, life would never quite be the same again in the aftermath of such confusion, sorrow, and loss. As students look forward to the last day before summer break, 13-year-old Nathaniel Brazil is sent home early for a minor incident, throwing water balloons. Despite challenges at home, Nathaniel is known for good grades and a promising academic future. No one could predict that he would return to school hours later with a stolen handgun with a dark plan in mind. Upon entering the school, Nathaniel goes straight to his favorite teacher, 35-year-old Barry Grunow. He meets Grunow at the classroom door, demanding to speak to two female students inside. When Grunow refuses, the troubled teen commits a senseless act. In a shocking moment, Brazil reveals the hidden handgun and pulled the trigger towards Grunow at close range. The impact affects Grunow in the face, and he collapses in front of his horrified students. As students witness the horrifying scene in the hallway, Brazil waves the weapon at another teacher before fleeing. After a frantic escape through the neighborhood street, the terrified teen surrendered to the authorities by collapsing in front of an approaching police car. In the aftermath, the community struggles to understand this inexplicable disaster. Barry Grunow, a dedicated educator and father of two, has had his life abruptly taken, and a once promising student now faces severe consequences for a brutal act that has shocked the quiet Florida suburb. Nathaniel Brazil was born in September 1986 in West Palm Beach, Florida, to Polly Ann Powell, His father, Nathaniel Brazil Sr., was mostly absent during his childhood, so Nathaniel was primarily raised by his single mother and grandparents. Early on, Nathaniel faced instability and turmoil in his life. His mother struggled with alcohol excessive use, and he was exposed to harmful behaviors and neglect due to a revolving door of irresponsible boyfriends. From the age of 5, the police were frequently called to the Brazil household for domestic disputes. Despite these early challenges, Nathaniel showed no signs of trouble in his early school years. Described as well-mannered and bright and soft-spoken, he was an A and B student with dreams of pursuing a career in law enforcement. Barry Grunow, who taught language arts at Lakeworth Middle School, was his favorite teacher, and there were no reported issues with him or other students. However, warning signs began to emerge in his 7th grade year. About a month before the act, Brazil wrote a distressing letter to Grunow, expressing emotional turmoil due to bullying and harassment at school. He even mentioned thoughts of unaliving himself. Coupled with declining grades that spring, it was evident that something deeply troubled the once promising student. In his personal life, Brazil experienced changes, with his first romantic relationship forming and quickly ending just days before the incident. It raised questions about whether heartbreak played a role in motivating his harmful actions. After receiving his first kiss from girlfriend Dinora Rosales on May 20th, she broke up with him only 6 days later. Authorities believe Brazil returned to school, seeking a final goodbye to Rosales. Considering this context, Nathaniel Brazil appears less as a heartless individual and more as an emotionally fragile boy who reached a breaking point. While this does not excuse his reprehensive actions, it highlights significant failures in psychological care and risk assessment that could have prevented this tragic act. Nathaniel had displayed numerous warning signs in the months leading up to May 26, which unfortunately went largely unnoticed by the adults responsible for his well-being. In the aftermath of Barry Gronow's shocking passing, Florida prosecutor Barry Krischer filed serious charges against Nathaniel Brazil, including an initial count of first-degree murder. If found guilty of planning the fatal act, the 14-year-old Brazil would have faced a life imprisonment without parole. As the legal proceedings unfolded, cracks appeared in the prosecution's portrayal of a hardened, unfeeling culprit. Nathaniel, upon hearing that his favorite teacher had died from his actions, broke down in tears, challenging assertions that he lacked empathy for the victim. Testimonies from students and faculty painted a picture of a sensitive child who succumbed to pressure rather than a vicious terminator. The case unfolded on Brazil's mental state and maturity. Should a 13-year-old with evident emotional issues be treated and sentenced the same as an adult? Despite being legally prohibited from driving, enlisting in the military, or voting, Brazil faced penalties of 25 years to life in prison, identical to those an adult offender might receive. Many observers deemed this miscarriage of justice. After 14 hours of intense deliberation, the jury rejected the first-degree charges, sparing Brazil from mandatory life imprisonment. Instead, they returned a conviction of second-degree murder along with aggravated assault. Ultimately, Brazil received a total of 28 years, avoiding the harshest punishment sought by the state. Under this sentence, he will be released on May 18, 2028 at age 41. The sentencing was seen as a compromise verdict, offering Brazil a second chance at life after spending decades behind bars. It acknowledged the gravity of his actions, which had devastated many lives. Above all, Gronow's widow, Pam, has tirelessly focused on finding meaning amid the tragedy through the Barry Gronow Scholarship Fund. By transforming grief into hope for disadvantaged students, she perpetuates her late husband's spirit of service and mentorship. While Brazil's journey into violent tragedy represents extreme cases, it highlights broader societal issues related to juvenile crime, rehabilitation, and mental health support in schools. In many ways, Nathaniel was a promising student on the brink of taking a darker path. Numerous teenagers face emotional challenges without resulting into such brutal violence. However, Nathaniel's heightened emotions collided with easy access to firearms, creating an unusual lethal combination. Addressing the warning signs through counseling and closing the security gaps might have kept these intersecting forces in check. The elimination of his beloved mentor added another layer of tragedy to this devastating act. Seeking out grown-ups' classroom while emotionally charged and armed, Brazil triggered a confrontation that quickly got out of control. Eleanor refusing him entry led the distressed teen to make a catastrophic split-second decision. He pulled the stolen handgun from his waistband and pointed it at his teacher. Despite grown-ups' pleas to stop pointing that gun, Brazil pulled the trigger, ending his mentor's life just hours before the final bell of the school year. The senselessness of the incident emphasized the fragility of life and deeply tragic consequences of unchecked trauma. Brazil's act devastated Grenell's family, impacting the Lake Worth community, and destroyed his own promising future in one inexplicable moment. While justice has been served, true healing from these grievous acts still lies ahead. We can only hope Brazil emerges from prison a changed man, determined to make amends through redeeming acts of service. Grenell's legacy of family bonds, honor, and generosity may be restored by supporting young lives through education, breaking cycles of hatefulness, and nurturing the potential in each student may still bring some good from this searing chapter of tragedy. The elimination of Barry Grenell by his student Nathaniel Brazil leaves behind a lasting legacy of deep loss and unlearned lessons. Most tragically, two promising lives were severely damaged in a single explosive moment. For Brazil, years of trauma and insufficient emotional support led to an unthinkable act of violence. Barry's selfless dedication to teaching was prematurely extinguished, causing deep wounds for all who loved him. There are no satisfying answers for why such a compassionate teacher was brutally ended by his favorite student. We are left to pick up the pieces through reconciliation and healing. By supporting those affected by this loss, the dreams Barry had for his students may still be nurtured even in his absence. We must learn from this sorrowful case by taking preventive measures wherever possible, addressing mental health issues early on, and limiting access to deadly weapons may help prevent other acts of school violence. While we cannot reverse the harm done, we can break the cycle to save more bright futures from being destroyed by senseless moments. All those touched by this great loss, the road forward holds hope mixed with enduring grief. May they find solace and purpose in the years ahead, and may the gift of life be cherished as fragile yet unimaginably precious. By honoring how quickly it can be taken away, we affirm the need to guard it with constant love and care. Before you leave, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. This will ensure you stay informed about all the true crime cases we uncover. We are grateful to have you as part of our community as we explore the captivating mysteries that continue to fascinate us all. Stay curious and vigilant, and remember, even closed books still hold untold pages, waiting patiently for revelation. Thank you for joining us, and we eagerly anticipate seeing you on our next exploration. Until next time.